Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to episode 1 of Sammy Synergies, where we look at some of the best synergies in the game that make bad champions good or just make really good champions overpowered. If you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing so you don't miss future episodes. Otherwise, let's get started. In today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at Psylocke, the mutant power control goddess, who has an amazing ability to power lock the opponent forever, but you don't really hear about her much at all. But with some of these synergies that have come out in the past year or so, her potential damage has gone way up, and she's now able to stack tons of charges that you can cash in for huge burst damage. Now, before we get into the synergy that makes this possible, you need to know how she works at a baseline level. So if you've never played Psylocke before or even seen a video on her, basically what you want to do and what you need to do is get at least one charge on yourself and get the enemy at 0 power by baiting a special attack and throwing your special one. After that, you kind of just combo them into the wall and stack up charges. Every 5 hits, you'll gain 1 charge, and after stacking up enough, you can heavy and cash that in for burst damage. Now on the surface this sounds great. You have a permanently power locked champion and you can just rack up these charges and deal some burst damage. But if you ever play her, you'll quickly realize that this ramp up that she has to do is just way too slow. The setup to get the opponent to 0 power as well as having a charge is kind of annoying, but it's doable. But only getting 1 charge every 5 hits just is not enough to make her a viable damage dealing champion. So even though she has this permanent power lock that's pretty easy to access, most people are just going to find her way too slow to play, and she's probably just going to sit on your roster collecting dust. Luckily, there are synergies to fix those problems now. So there are 3 main synergies that I'm going to be talking about that give Psylocke a nice boost in utility and damage. The first one is from Bishop, and with Bishop, opponents are afflicted with a Petrify of 100% potency for 1 second after they fill a bar of power, and that Petrify is paused during their special attacks. The second synergy is from Spider-Man 2099 that increases Psylocke's defensive ability accuracy reduction by another 50% when the opponent is at 0 power. But the biggest and probably most important one is her synergy with Apocalypse. With this synergy, her basic attacks will have a 30% chance to grant a side charge, and each charge grants 5% critical rating. But if you can make her a Horseman of Apocalypse, you'll gain plus 50% critical damage rating and plus 50% attack rating when striking an opponent at 0 power. This is the big damage boosting synergy right here. So with those covered, let's jump into some gameplay. Now, just before we start, I do want to make clear that this is a rank 1 6-star SIG 20 Psylocke that I'm using. I don't have her ranked up, so I just want you to keep in mind the numbers you're seeing is from a rank 1. And some of this big burst damage you see, I want you to kind of imagine what maybe a rank 2, a rank 3, even a rank 4 Psylocke could do. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, so we're starting the fight here at Captain Marvel instead of Winter Soldier so that we could get the Horseman of Apocalypse synergy up. And we're just going to start this fight by trying to get her to 0 power. And then she basically it loses the fight. That's basically all she can do. I think we push her to a special 2 first. She seemed to be gaining a ton of power. There we go, special 2. Throws it. Couple hits, and then we throw the special 1, and now she's permanently power locked. There's nothing she can do. She has lost the fight. She will the only way that she can gain more power is if she hits me to get those charges back. Every time she hits Psylocke while she has charges, she'll gain a percentage of her power back, and can start gaining power again. Unfortunately for her, I think this only happens maybe once during the fight, and then I think I throw a heavy eventually, and then she can get the power back. So we throw a special 2. The best rotation I've found that's the most fun for me is to just rack up these charges, and then when I get a special 2, just launching the special 2, boom, for some pretty big damage. And yeah, that's all you do. You just have him in the corner. Again, remember this is a rank 1 6-star, so this damage can be way higher on like a typical playthrough or rank up, one like a rank 3 or imagine a rank 4. So there's our first heavy. It's a 52k heavy with, I think that was what, 32 charges. So yeah, pretty good. And again, for rank 1, that's pretty good. So I guess I just heavier a couple times. I don't know what I was doing here. Actually, I don't know if I was just trying something. I'm not sure. So now we just have to get her back to 0 power. And kind of just try to bait these heavies. But you know how the AI has been lately. It's just been awful. Boom. Now I just need to throw this special one. And that should push her to no power. And now she's power locked again. And there's nothing she can do. I can just hit her wherever. And she will never gain a special unless I mess up. And that is what's so cool about Psylocke. Is if you don't mess up, you're probably just going to have an opponent that can never throw a special attack against you. It's awesome. Now, some key things to remember is that if the opponent can gain power by other means, I think one good example is like Hyperion. Hyperion will still gain his power from his abilities. So it's not like a power lock from all sources, but it's a power lock from being hit, which works on many opponents. So we just threw another special, another heavy, try to finish it with a special, and we do. Boom. Now I know what you're thinking, okay, that's cool in Realm of Legends, whatever, but how is she in everyday content? How does she perform? So I went ahead and took her into the mutant path, or the mutant quest, in the Thronebreaker difficulty of this month's event quest. These guys are, this is probably the most annoying quest in my opinion, just having this unstoppable and having to parry, but your first parry doesn't even activate the bleed because there's a immunity for the first one. It's just super annoying. So I took her into this quest, and keep in mind, this is where she's going to gain extra damage from the crossfight charges, which is really cool. And you're going to see some pretty decent numbers at, again, rank 1 Psylocke. So basically, the hard part here is you have to get this parry off with the bleed, and if you don't, the unstoppable kind of gets in your way. But once we finally get that under control, boom, he is power locked, and that's it. He loses. He cannot throw any more specials. I just have to not mess up. Again, I don't have to mess up. I have to keep these bleeds on, so just so he doesn't get this unstoppable. And yeah, as long as I can get my reparries in and keep this bleeds up, I'm just gonna be gaining more and more damage. He's gonna be power locked. I'm gonna be able to dish out some pretty nice special 2s, 48k special 2, just from the rank 1 Psylocke. Pretty cool stuff. 11k mediums, boom. Just be able to cycle through. And I think on this first fight, I forget to even throw a charge because boom, 24k and 58k special 2. Fantastic. What is that, 80k damage from the special 2? And I didn't even throw a heavy for the charges. The next fight and the kind of final fight on this path that I'm going to show, actually I think there's one more, was against Captain Marvel. She, pretty basic fight again. Again, we have to deal with this unstoppable. And since I'm rank 1, I have to deal with this this block damage I'm taking. But yeah, as long as I don't mess up, boom. And trying to get to a special 1 without activating the unstoppable. Barely got it off there. I go ahead and throw this special 1. Get all my power back. See what I do here. I actually don't remember. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, that's right. I'm trying to bait her and time this unstoppable, right? Keeping the bleeds up. Definitely a pretty annoying combination. I hate, this was the worst event quest like chapter to do. Like, I just hated this whole mutant thing. But anyways, boom. Nasty node combination, but we're able to finally get her power locked. And now the game is over for her. I do think I launched a heavy here, so she'll start to gain power again. But, you know, we'll get to that. So yeah, again, just kind of building up those charges. We're at 10, boom. Another 74k, 78k. Heavy, 21k. Boom, that's like over That's like what, almost 100k damage in like 4 seconds. Pretty good. And yeah, just finish her off with another heavy. Easy peasy. Now this is the last fight I'm going to show. It's Purgatory, and we actually lose this fight. But I wanted to show you kind of what I was talking about when it comes to the potential downsides of her ability and how she can be countered by some of these power gain effects. So because Purgatory gains this power gain effect when I hit her, my Psylocke's abilities to keep her power locked are just completely useless here. So this is one of the downsides. One of the downsides of Psylocke when you're trying to play her is if you do have an opponent like this who is gaining power from outside sources, from just other than hitting you, it's going to be tough. So see, she gains the power from her ability, which bypasses the power lock. So that's one of the one of those things that you have to keep in mind if you ever use this character, is that she's not 100% perfect. She can be countered by these kind of defenders. Again, like I said, Hyperion's probably one of the ones that come to mind myself, but again, it's not too big of a deal. I think I would have been fine in this fight still, if I because you still have the charges and you can still build up the charges and whatnot and launch those special 2s, but I just didn't have enough health. So we end up just going down. But again, rank 1, Psylocke, no big deal. That's all I have for you in this first episode. Let me know what you think of these Psylocke synergies, and if you think this would make you want to use her more, or if there's any place you could think that she'd be super useful in. Again, the power control thing that she has going on is really, really powerful, and with these synergies, especially the Apocalypse synergy, she can hit really hard. Like, I would love to see someone with a rank 3 or maybe even 4 trying to deal out some damage with that synergy, because I mean, if we're hitting 70k to 80k on special 2s with her at just rank 1, I can't really imagine what rank 3 or 4 would be. That seems like it'd be kind of crazy. And then add in the permanent power control that she can potentially have. It's pretty interesting. So let me know if you enjoyed this first episode and if you want me to do more. I hope you enjoyed the kind of more edited format, and let me know down below what champions you want me to find synergies for next. I think one of the most fun things to do in this game is to put these synergy teams together to see how far you can push these champions. And there are just so many now. There's like so many people forget about. So just let me know what champions you want me to try find good synergies for. Otherwise, that's it from me. As always, y'all take care.